So, welcome back, everyone. This is the second part of the project. The first was a data collection, which you have seen, which is the first part, sorry. Then this is the second part, which is on data cleaning, like the normal process of data analytics, data collection, cleaning, exploratory analysis, or any kind of analysis like regression analysis. Just any different kind of analysis you can do at that level, then visualization. Most of the time, if it's regression, there's no need for visualization, but I don't think that is the main cause for this lecture. So let's just focus on this. Now I'll be running this code because it's actually important. The reason why I was not running the collection is that it will take a lot of time to load, and API do also have limits the way you can access the API. So if it's too much, they could block you for some certain period of time in case of overload. So we import the pandas library. We import that. So after that, I think it's just running. We import that. After importing that, then we read the CSV file which we got from the data cleaning. That's the CSV file which we got from data cleaning. We read that. Okay, let me bring this so easier for me to run. So we'll be reading the CSV file which we got from the data collection. Sorry. Then we have read it into what the data variable. So let's check what we got, and this is what we got, which is good. Everything is in place. This look confusing, but not that confusing. I will handle that too as we go on. Then when I read in a data from a CSV file, I normally get a copy of that data for us to run our analysis on. The reason for this, I've said it in my last project. The reason for this is so that we have our CSV file intact without any manipulation. So in case you have any mistake, because we are humans and mistake is inevitable, so you can also go back there and also get your CSV file back and get on the work. So this is just a copy of it. If I run that, we have that, and let me check it. It's exactly the same. There's no big difference. There's no difference as well. There's no big difference. There's no difference between the both. Then we'll now have to check the info of what we have here. Now the time is in ints, the highs, lows, all those are in floats, close, and these are not objects. So there's no, it's just taking 1.5 MB. So we're dropping irrelevant columns. Now, during data collection, sometimes there are some data we get which is actually irrelevant and we don't need them. So we're dropping them, then we now handle missing values. So first of all, check the uniqueness of all the columns. If you run that, we see this. Now, most of the time, I easily detect the one that are not, like, I usually drop columns that are repetitive. Like, we have the same value throughout the column. There's no need for that. So we have to drop them. And the one that is not actually needed for our analysis. So, like, example, this conversion type and conversion symbol, we don't need them. We're not dealing with conversion. We're just dealing with the trend analysis of what the cryptocurrency pairs. So we're dropping them. The conversion type and symbols, they are irrelevant. So we're dropping them. Axis, remember, axis equals to 1 is trying to say we're dropping the columns. But if it's 0, rows. So we're going to drop function from the pandas library. I'll run that. Then let me check how my data frame looks like now. So it's now looking much more cool. So okay, let's go. Then we know how to handle missing values. So that is like normally my data cleaning process. I normally first of all create a copy of my data set. Drop irrelevant columns, because especially when I'm the one that gathered the data, and most of my projects, in short, all my projects, I'm the one, all my data I used to gather it from an API or sometimes web scraping. But I don't use web scraping enough is that because of most of the time terms of use issues, and some sites may not allow you to do that because you may actually deny, actually run down their services. So unless if you are going for bigger sites like Amazon, Wikipedia, so those one may allow, but smaller sites may not allow. So that's why I don't focus more on web scraping. I normally try to use API instead of going to Cargo to get datasets. So I will run this, which is the missing values. Now this is trying to get all the sum of them, which is null. Like any missing value should get the sum of them. Run this. So we are having no missing values, so there's no need to remove any since there's none. So yeah, so we can see that there is no missing value. Okay, now we will have to turn volume to column from having those unnecessary. Now that's scientific notation, which is this, we don't need it. So instead of creating confusion, we have to turn that back into a more, much more readable one, which is just, you turn it to a 2 float, which is 2 decimal points. Like floats are decimals in Python. So we have to apply that to the column. That is just this is saying. So we'll run that. Now check how it looks like. It looks more better. Now what this volume from and volume 2 is, I didn't take time to explain. And this time is the duration, which I've already said in the data collection. Like our data start from the second half of 2018 to 30th of November 2023. This is the highest price of let me say BTC /USDT, USD, sorry. Then this is the lowest price for that same day. This is per day. This is the opening price. This is the closing price. Now the volume from is the volume of BTC traded that day, which is this. Then the volume 2 is the conversion in what USD. So it's the conversion in USD. Like this is actually millions of dollars. Okay. Then this is the closing price. Okay, I've also talked about that. So like I always do too, I also create checkpoints. Now this checkpoint is very useful. Most of my project is not that long, but when you start working for bigger organizations, that projects may be in millions, and such projects, if you eventually don't have checkpoints, you have to start from beginning. Like you have to start from the top when you have a little mistake. I know in programming, when you manipulate a variable, the variable has changed already. You have to reassign it again. And sometimes if there's no opportunity for that, then you have done a mistake. You have to start from the top again. So that is why checkpoints are very, very important. I normally use it. So I'll run this. I normally, this is the one we're using. Then I can create a new variable, variable to save a copy of this in it. I run this, and then it's still the same. There's no difference. So we have to convert the time column now. And you see from Unix timestamp to a human readable date. So we have to import the date time, like the date time listing, the time module. Yeah, I think so. Then we now have to apply. We have to convert this function. Actually, it's converting it for Unix time to a more human readable days. So let's run this, and let's run this. So now it's from 2018 to what? 2023, 30th of it. So it's much more useful now for us than in normal timestamp. So we have to convert the time to, like, I don't like using this format. I'm not much familiar with this, but I love using the day, month, and the year. So that's why I normally convert it. I even did it in my last project too. So I normally convert it to that place. So let's run it now and see how it looks like. So it looks like this. So which is 9th of 6th, I think it's July 2018. So that I said it starts on second half of 2018. Okay. So we also have to change the column name, time to date. Now, since this is already in date now, so we have to change this to time and to date. So this is already in date. We have to change the header to date. instead of time, so to avoid confusion later on. So then and I also change other columns to title case. Now I love it this way instead of being in this format. So I love it more in this way. So that's why I changed all of them. Then on dot columns to now assign the new columns this to the data frame. Sorry. Then run that. Then check how it looks like. Looks more cool. Then finally I saved it in a .csv file, which is clean data frame, which I'll be using for my exploratory data analysis and my data visualization. And I also remove this index. I don't need them. That I index equals what false. Then that I'll not run this because I already have the file, so I don't have to have both of them too. So like I also say, I'll be keeping them in my GitHub. So and I'll also drop the link on my YouTube videos on the video, so you can on description, yeah, so you can go there and check it out. So thank you all and goodbye.